Today I'm going to talk about 8 common topics gay men can work on in therapy to improve their lives and relationships. This is by no means an exhaustive list. Just like our straight counterparts, we can experience grief, addiction, life transitions, anxiety, and depression. But that's not what I'm going to talk about today. Hi, my name is Tom Brewitt, and I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist with a practice in California and Colorado. I help gay men nurture stronger relationships with themselves and their partners. We've all read The Velvet Rage or Straight Jacket, and we know how difficult it is to be raised as a queer person in a heteronormative society. So I'm not going to inundate you with those negative statistics here. Bottom line, it's still hard to be gay. Despite all the political progress we've made, the mental health statistics are still shockingly worse for LGBTQ plus folks when compared to our straight counterparts. And there is hope. Like the queer theorist Jose Esteban Munoz has written in his inspiring seminal text, Cruising Utopia, queerness is not yet here. We must dream and enact new and better pleasures, other ways of being in the world, and ultimately, new worlds. And I think that is true for us as queer men. We must have hope in a new and a different future. So, what are the 8 main things that gay men can explore in therapy to improve their lives? Number 1, coming out. At a certain point, most LGBTQ plus people come out of the closet, meaning we tell the rest of the world that we identify as something other than straight. This is a huge rite of passage and is different for everyone. Some people have very supportive families and come out in middle school. Others can live most of their lives as heterosexual and come out later in life. While coming out is a big step, it's typically just the beginning. Our sexual identity is a big part of who we are as people, but it's usually just one layer of the onion. Once we peel that back, we can begin nurturing self-love and compassion for all of who we are. If you're in the process of coming out, or have already come out and it didn't go so well, therapy can be a supportive place to make sense of all the experience and to work on your self-esteem so that you can grieve the part of you that you're letting go of and create the new and meaningful community that you crave. Number 2, learning to share all of ourselves with the world. After we come out, there is a deeper process that can happen when we learn how to stop hiding different parts of ourselves. Think about it. If you become good at hiding your sexuality, what prevents you from hiding other parts of yourself? Maybe you really like playing the ukulele, but you worry others will judge you on some level. So you conceal that part of yourself, and it can go on from there. Therapy is an excellent place to do some deep digging and learn more about yourself. I like to think of it as a laboratory for exploration and growth. All right, number 3, I'm overusing drugs or alcohol. So this is a common coping skill for those of us who've lived through some form of trauma. Again, I'm not going to talk about negative statistics, but let's just say that those of us in the queer community tend to use drugs and alcohol as a self-soothing tool way more than our straight counterparts. Maybe you're drinking more than you'd like, or you're concerned about the way that you use drugs in social situations. Chances are you're using for a reason. And by coming to know more about why you're overusing, you can make the changes that are best for you and your life. All right, number 4, I have body image issues as a gay man. If you're a gay man with body image issues, you are not alone. Do an image search for the term gay man. You will mostly find naked, muscular, and white men. This is what society and the advertising world is telling us that we need to look like in order to be happy. What happens when you don't have an 8-pack and huge pecs? It's not as simple as saying, love your body as it is today. Therapy can provide the support and guidance to help you create a more compassionate relationship with your body over time. Number 5, I have trouble being vulnerable, making connections, or building community. Being vulnerable is hard. Think about it. To be vulnerable, you have to put your authentic self out there. As I discussed before, that can be a huge challenge for many of us in the LGBTQ community. Webster's Online Dictionary states that when you're vulnerable, you're capable of being physically or emotionally wounded. When you put yourself out there, there is the risk that you could be hurt. If you spend most of your time in self-protection mode, it's hard to make connections. It's hard to be vulnerable. As a therapist, I see how much we struggle as a community to connect and be vulnerable. Again, thinking of therapy as a laboratory, you can explore being vulnerable with your therapist, and you can build that muscle over time. Number 6, I'm a gay man with social anxiety. Social anxiety is a common condition that many people struggle with. The symptoms can be alarming because they are often felt in your body as well as your mind. The rapid heartbeat, sweating, dizziness can resemble other more dangerous medical conditions. While there are some gay spaces that are safe and welcoming, there are many that are not. Most gay men can recount stories of feeling judged upon entering a gay bar. Working with a therapist can help many people move through and find support with social anxiety. Number 7, I'm struggling with internalized homophobia. Internalized homophobia is something that can show up in surprising ways. What is internalized homophobia, you may be asking? Internalized homophobia is the act of turning the hatred, stigma, and fear of a homophobic society back in on ourselves. I did just use both words I'm trying to define in the definition, which would make my 3rd grade vocabulary teacher very angry. So let me elaborate. Trying to fit in as a gay person in the straight world requires some internal gymnastics. We learn to hide ourselves expertly as we explored before. This is often on a very deep and unconscious level. For example, as a gay man, you may learn to throw your voice so you sound more masculine, or dress differently so as not to stand out. Just because we haven't personally been the victim of a hate crime doesn't mean that we aren't affected by being born gay. Could you be self-sabotaging because of unconscious internalized homophobia? Maybe. By slowing things down and exploring why you do the things you do, you can hopefully find a way out of the maze. All right, the last thing I'm going to talk about today is having low self-esteem, number 8. Another common issue that brings gay men into therapy is low self-esteem. There is no quick fix to improving your self-esteem. Many have tried with drugs, alcohol, sex, or working out. When you think poorly of yourself on a deep level, external changes rarely help. Working on your self-esteem is what I call an inside job. Therapy is a great place to work on the underlying issues that may be causing low self-esteem. In summary, what we've talked about today is that as a gay man, there are a number of different concerns that may bring you into therapy. Remember, the most important thing is finding a therapist that you feel comfortable with and who is LGBTQ affirming. You want to be as honest as you can be with that therapist, and you want to seek the support that you deserve. You do not have to do any of this alone. If you're looking for a therapist and you live in the states of California or Colorado, please reach out and we can set up a free consultation to explore what it would be like to work together. All right, take good care.